Why the first $100,000 is so hard and the next is easy. Many people spent years to save their first $100,000. Then it just took approximately a year to surpass $150,000. That turns out to be fairly common. Capital gain is a wonderful thing, but it begins slowly. It takes time and a large investment to work its magic. Today, I'd like to go through the math that explains why saving your first $100,000 is so difficult, but your net worth begins to skyrocket once you reach that mark. So without further ado, let's get into it. Why saving and investing your first $100,000 is the most difficult. There are two primary reasons why it is the most challenging to save or invest the first $100,000. The first justification should be rather obvious. Since our ability to save money typically improves with age, it stands to reason that we are most likely to have no savings when we are still relatively young. Because it is difficult for most people who are graduating high school to earn a significant amount of money, either through traditional employment or through entrepreneurial endeavors, there is typically very little disposable income that can be saved. When it comes to saving money and making investments, it is essential to generate as large of a surplus as possible between the sum of your whole income and the sum of your total costs. After that, the surplus can be put away in a savings account or invested as necessary. When we first start out in our jobs, our annual income is often rather modest. Even while our costs are frequently quite low at this age as well, it is challenging to build up much of a surplus during this time in our lives. Because of this, it becomes quite difficult for us to make contributions to our investment or savings accounts that are significant in terms of monetary value. Many people are caught in a cycle of living from paycheck to paycheck for an extended period of time. This means that they receive a salary from their employment, but almost all of it is used to cover the numerous expenses associated with their standard of living. The second cause, which is compounding, is not as obvious but has an even greater influence. It is simple to add another 100,000 to your investment when you already have £1 million in it, because you already have £1 million earning a return on investment each year. If, on the other hand, you begin with nothing, you will have very little money in the market that is earning a return, and you will not be able to fully profit from the forces of compounding. How can I save or invest my first $100,000 faster? You will need to raise the amount of money left over after paying all of your bills if you want to save your first $100,000 any faster. You can accomplish this goal by either increasing the amount of money you earn or decreasing the amount of money you spend. Those who want to save money quickly should focus on increasing their savings rate, which is calculated by dividing their total savings by their total income. Let's look at these options in turn. The majority of people will find that cutting back on their spending is the simplest and quickest approach to increase their surplus. The majority of us have some wiggle room in our monthly spending plans, which can result in savings if we know where to look. Although this is by no means an exhaustive list, you might be able to reduce your monthly costs by doing some or all of the following: renegotiating your rent, remortgaging your house, search around for cheaper deals on your bills, Wi-Fi, mobile phone, etc., leasing a cheaper vehicle, or not leasing at all if it can be avoided, using your car less and using public transport, or walking more to save on fuel costs. Cancel unused subscriptions, Audible, Kindle, Netflix, Amazon Prime, etc. Eat out less frequently or get takeout less often. Drink less. Alcohol costs, particularly at bars, add up amazingly quickly. If employed, see if you can work from home more often to reduce transport and lunch costs. If you want to raise your surplus, the quickest way to do it is to cut your spending. However, this is not the most effective approach to do so, because there is a limit to how low your expenses can go before you start to feel like you are being deprived. The most effective way is increase your income. Let's say you had an annual income of $30,000 and expenses of $25,000. This would leave you with a surplus of $5,000, which you could put toward your savings. It is true that you might reduce your expenditures by an additional few $1,000s in order to raise it. However, if you could find a method to be promoted at work and earn $45,000 per year instead, this would have a significantly greater influence on your financial situation. Here are my ideas for increasing your income. Take the necessary steps to be promoted at work. Here's a hint. The more responsibility or accountability you take on, the faster you are promoted. Perform well at work to earn annual salary increases and bonuses at the top level. Maximize your pension contributions to take full advantage of your employer's match. Consider a part-time job to supplement your income. For example, coach a football team or babysit in your area some evenings. Start a side hustle project or business in your evenings and weekends. To summarize, the faster you can save $100,000, the more you can earn and the more you can minimize your expenses. To expedite the process even further, invest your savings in income-producing assets such as stocks, REITs, etc. You are best capable of investing in higher-risk asset groups such as stocks at this age. How do I invest my first $1,000? When it comes to saving and investing your first $100,000, the first step is to invest your first $1,000 and form good investment habits early on. As previously explained, investing in the stock market through low-cost index funds allows you to profit from compounding and achieve the $100,000 level considerably faster than you would otherwise be able to. With this in mind, starting to invest your first investable cash is an excellent idea. Set up an online Vanguard account, invest in a broad global index fund, and then automate future investing by setting up a monthly direct debit with whatever amount you can afford. Should I invest more as my salary increases over time? Investing success depends on when you start, what you invest in, and if you sell at lows. Contributions to your investing account may make the most difference. Young people can only donate a tiny amount per month. As your salary rises, you should be able to contribute more to your investing account if you don't increase your annual costs. When do most individuals save $100,000? It's possible to save $100,000 by the age of 30 or earlier, depending on income and spending. This depends on your income and expenses. $100,000 in the UK or $100,000 in the US can have various effects depending on where you live. A Londoner or New Yorker with $100,000 in savings has less purchasing power than someone with $50,000 in Eastern Europe or South America. How long will it take to go from $100,000 to $1 million net worth? Those who are working toward achieving financial independence should have a lot of confidence thanks to the short amount of time it takes to go from $100,000 to $1 million in invested assets. It is possible for young individuals to have $100,000 invested by the time they are 30 years old if they are able to achieve a solid salary and maintain a savings rate that is at least halfway respectable. These individuals have the potential to become millionaires before the age of 50 if they make contributions of less than $1,000 per month from that point forward. This would allow them to retire significantly earlier than the typical age of retirement. Also, always keep in mind, age is only a number we count until we are old enough to know it doesn't count. So there you have it. If you enjoyed today's content, make sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our new videos. Until next time.